Welcome, welcome. I guess we got a lot to talk about tonight, don't we? Let me just check the volume. 5x5, click, click, click. Make sure everything's working so I'm not like going crazy. I don't know. I don't know if anybody is going to show up tonight. I know a lot of people have been quite ticked off at me lately and not understanding where I stand, not understanding what it is that I feel about Tua. And before we begin, just in case you don't know, my name is Barry Cunningham. A lot of people seem to be singling me out on Twitter right about now. Nah, I don't care. I don't care. They don't know what I know, and they don't know that I don't really care what they know. You see, the thing is, over the last 48 hours or so, I have purposely, with intention and proudly and with glee, gone ahead and basically banned and blocked 250 people on Twitter because of toxicity and the BS and everything that they're spewing. And then today was the old I gotcha. Oh, look, Tua's got his 5th-year option activated, exercised. Not knowing, not knowing that I had already said that, not knowing that I advocated for Tua's 5th-year option to be taken, said it many times. It makes complete sense. It's what they need to do. They get him cheap. He's in a prove it year. He's in a year where he's going to have to show it. He's going to have to prove to everybody that he can stay on the field. And if you have to pay $23 million versus the stupid money that some of these quarterbacks are getting, what did Danny Dimes get? Like almost $40 million a year. Lamar Jackson's looking for a guaranteed contract of $250 million. Deshaun Watson, $236 million. Kyler Murray, $160, $170 million guaranteed. Aaron Rodgers gets $50 million to play. $23 million is a bargain. Why wouldn't you take that? And I need to understand how the cult of personality that's evolved around Tua thought it was some kind of gotcha day. That today was the day of comeuppance. Today was the day we were going to prove to everybody what's going on. That we're going to make all the haters understand. If you've followed my channel for any amount of time, you know where I really stand. I started this channel. There's some guys out there who've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. I started this channel in May, mid-May, when I started posting videos about the Miami Dolphins. In less than, we're in March, in less than 7 or 8 months, I've garnered 21,000 subscribers, which really doesn't mean that much to me because I just do this for fun. And it's a nice way to engage with people who want to engage. Those that want to engage. Those that have meaningful discourse at their disposal that they'd like to talk to. I'm not interested in FUs, and I'm not interested in, all the stuff I see on some of the comments. I like to talk to people who actually understand how to use a vocabulary and contact people and talk and verify and substantiate your perspective. What do you feel? Why do you feel this way? Why do you feel like, you have to be a part of the cult? And I say cult with a smile because you have to smile at some of these people. There are some people on Twitter that you just go, oh my God, you're not related to this guy. I had probably, 20, 25 people tweet me today who weren't blocked, who subsequently became blocked, who asked me if I was crying, if I was upset. I'm like, huh? I don't know, we just moved into a new place. How you guys like the new studio? It's the first broadcast in a new studio. Why would I be upset? I have no emotional tie to Tua Tagovailoa whatsoever. We're not related. He's not my homie. We've never met. He's a quarterback on a team that I root for. So what? Why would I be upset because they exercised a 5th-year option? Why would I be upset if they didn't exercise his 5th-year option? These people make no sense. I mean, they make absolutely no sense. So here we are. It's 7 23 on March 10th, what happens to be my sister's birthday. And we're talking about this. And I'm going to go through a couple things real quick. And the first one I wanted to touch on was emotion. I've never been emotional about a football team. Because if that were the case, I would have ups and downs like a schizophrenic monkey. Remember, in my old studio, I used to have a banner of Notre Dame. And Notre Dame has been butt spanked for 30 years. They haven't won anything. Am I emotional when they're eliminated in September? No. Look forward to next year. Jimmy Clausen. I could go through 100. Brady Quinn, a bunch of quarterbacks that have come through Notre Dame who I thought were going to be it. We're going to be the quarterback to take us to the national championship, and they didn't. What did I do? After the game, got up, went and have a beer, went out to dinner with my wife, and just moved on. This year with the Dolphins, we were pumped. The preseason was great. We went down into the suite, had some people down. This looks fantastic. They won those games. Everything looks fine. Hey guys, raise a beer. Let's talk. Tua's balling out. He got hurt. Okay, he'll be back. He'll be back. Let's make sure we go down to the next game and let's have another beer. Barry, go ahead and make sure you do your broadcast every Sunday. Be there every Sunday. Root for the team because that's the team that you absolutely root for. And then he gets hurt again. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. He can rebound. Not really concerned about it. So he goes out for a couple games. He comes back and wow, the team starts winning again. Hey, this is looking pretty good. This is looking really good. The team is winning again. The team seems poised to make a playoff run. Yeah, Tua's making his stats. Yeah, that's fine. Not emotionally tied to him. Wasn't emotionally tied to Dan Marino. And then December hit. And December hit and the wheels fell off. All of you who are watching this video, if anybody's watching this video, knows that in December, the wheels fell off. And that's when I made a video, I think it was on December 27th, and went basically, oh shit, what do we do now? Teddy Bridgewater? Teddy Two Gloves talking to dead people? Talking to Ray Charles? Talking to Stevie Wonder? Stevie's still alive. You guys remember that, don't you? Remember when Teddy Bridgewater said, I'm talking to Ray Charles? Then went out and lost the game. Skylar Thompson, a rookie, seventh rounder, earlier before Brock Purdy. He didn't get it done, and it just went boom. There was nothing to cheer for. They went to the Jets and won 11-6, I think it was, and we all were hoping that Tua would come back for the playoffs, and he didn't. There was nothing to cheer for, but there was nothing to be sad about either. It's a football game. My heart rate and blood pressure didn't go up and down based upon the Dolphins and what happened to them. It doesn't work that way. I'm a fan. I'm not obsessed. I'm a fan of the Miami Dolphins. I'm a fan of Tua Tagovailoa. Peter, you can't be a fan. No, there's no way. You talk bad about him. I talked good about him when he was doing good. I was here every Sunday, posted hundreds of videos. Man, this kid is killing it. He's doing good. You forget about those? Bet you did. So as soon as he gets hurt and I start questioning, hey guys, what are we going to do about this? That's when everything happened. So I'm just giving you a little history, not looking to go stay on a rant or anything like that. Just giving you some history. It is okay to critique somebody. We can critique Raheem Mostert. We can critique the center who kept snapping high. We can critique Mike McDaniel, who had some really bad time management problems during some of these games. We can critique, and he's now fired, Josh Boyer, and go, oh my God, what is this defense doing? We can critique all that. We can critique Mike Gesicki not playing. Why is he not playing? Why was he not put in? Why do we have this kid in here? He's not playing. We can critique everything except Tua Tagovailoa. That's where the problem is Every single one of us, they're getting ready to go in free agency. Today they signed us, I can make sure I say his name right, Salvin Ahmed. Signed him for like $1.8 million, bargain basement price. How'd he do? How did Byron Jones do? We can critique that. We can say, well, he was really good when he was with the Cowboys. He comes to the Dolphins, he gets hurt, and it looks like he's just taking money. We can critique that. We can all talk about that. We can talk about Austin Jackson being a lineman who doesn't seem to be able to block, and we got to replace him because he's not doing well, and we can critique him. And we can also say there's been times when he held up his end in the pocket. We can do that. Why is it you can't critique Tua? That's where the line of the cult of personality is because you have to be able to look at a quarterback, a fullback, a halfback, a wide receiver, and say, that didn't work really well. So, I want to show you something. Because there's probably some people out there who don't believe me, but I posted this video. This video was posted on February 25th, and I'm going to prove that to you. I'm going to prove something to you. I want to show you this. This is my YouTube channel. And here's all the stuff I post. And here you go here, and go down, and you go down, and go down. And right here, 13 days ago, you guys can see that. 13 days ago, I posted a video called Making the Case for Tua as QB1. Making the case for Tua at QB1. Did you guys see that? Did you miss it? Did you forget it? Let me just remind you of something I said on February 25th. Ready? Listen. As we near the start of free agency, I want to talk to you from the perspective of a general manager. I want to take your fan hat off, look at things through the lens of Chris Grier. And by doing so, hopefully we can have a real football conversation. Many of you have asked, so tonight I'm going to tell you what I would do if I were Chris Grier and how I would manage the entire situation around Tua Tagovailoa. In making the case for Tua Tagovailoa, we need to look at what needs to happen if we're going to keep riding with him. Who else is available? What would they cost? How would the locker room react with a change? How much money do I have available to go shopping with? What other needs do I need to address that could help Tua? This recent piece on ESPN echoes my sentiment completely.
Hey, Robert, if you ran the Dolphins, would you invest your future with Tua long term as the franchise quarterback?
Matt, I'm going to go ahead and answer that by saying I would exercise his fifth-year option for sure. You're talking about a $23 million number that is more than a bargain for a starting quarterback in the NFL right now, and you lock him down for 2 more years. That's the problem right now with Tua. He hasn't played a full 16 or 17 game season, and the really scary part is the head injuries that he's had to deal with, especially last year. You don't want to put him in a situation where he has another 1 or 2 of those next season, and it's starting to affect his life after football. So that's why I would go the option of exercising his fifth-year option and not really worry about the future or extending him for 5 years. You still have time to see if Tua is going to be able to maintain his health for a full season.
First and foremost, exercise Tua's fifth-year option. You get to lock him up for a couple years at a bargain basement price for a quarterback. This works for all sides. If Tua stays healthy, you get a good quarterback at a bargain basement price. And as insurance, if he gets hurt again, you also know going into free agency that you've got some money to spend on bringing somebody else in. There it was. That's what I said. I said that on February 25th. And even though I said that on February 25th, let me see if this pops up. I still get comments like this. Why you give Tua a hard time? You were kissing his ass last season for the first 12 games. You understand what I'm saying? You understand how infantile that looks, how sophomoric that looks. To say that I was kissing his butt for the first 12 games, you mean the games that he actually played in? Is that the games you're talking about? I didn't kiss his ass. I was talking about a quarterback that was playing well. And I also advised the team to go ahead, not the team, but I in my video, I actually said, hey, let's go ahead and exercise this kid's fifth-year option. It makes complete sense. You get him cheap. If you get him cheap and he balls out, you still got 2 years at a bargain basement price. If he gets hurt, yeah, no real big deal. Yes, $23 million, but that's chump change to what these quarterbacks are getting right now. So why am I hard on Tua? Well, let's see. He missed a bunch of games. And then, as I mentioned, the whole thing with canceling interviews. And I told you back then during Super Bowl week, oh, Barry, don't. I told you, you cancel on the media. The media, there's an old story in marketing, is you don't mess with people who buy ink by the barrel. They have large audiences, and they will use them to destroy you the same way the mob tries to destroy individual people like me. They can do it. They can say everybody is doing clickbait. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Here's a little tip. Every single thing that gets posted on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, did I forget one? Substack. Every single thing by every single person that gets posted is posted to get someone to click. You understand it, right? Even the crazy people out there who post stuff, and the nut jobs that post on TikTok or getting mad that people see it. The reason you post it is because you want people to see it. You want them to click on it. That's not clickbait. There's a couple of Dolphins channels that are devoted to clickbait. I mean, I've looked at some people and like, oh, there's a rumor tonight that, John Long is going to be playing quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Who the hell is John Long? They just make shit up. Showing you what the media is saying is what I've decided to do. And then critiquing it. That's called a reaction video. I'm not going to go ahead and make stuff up. I'm going to give you my opinion. That's not clickbait. No more than what this guy just said about me being hard on Tua or whatever. You understand that sometimes things aren't like we think they are? So I'm going to take a couple comments and then I'm going to move into free agency. So, Ty Bless says, what's this say? Barry out here trying to teach fans how to internet responsibly. I'm not the internet police, but I'm not going to get upset for anything. Why would I be upset? I probably get more flame. Here's a bit of information you guys probably don't know. So last week, some of these guys were saying that, Barry buys his followers. I'm like, you have no idea. I've been on Twitter since almost its inception, and I've gone through a number of different personas. As you guys know, most of you know, I buy real estate. So I was a real estate guy. I had a real estate show, and I had different type of interviews. And then when real estate tanked in 2009, 2010, I go, what would I like to do? Well, I'd like to go into social media marketing. And I started talking about social media marketing. Got a huge following from that. Then somebody hired me to be a social media digital manager for a particular political candidate. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Got a monstrous following. Had so much stuff going on. And then, about May of last year, I decided, what? I'm going to delete all that crap that had been posted for, since 2016. And I'm going to start talking about the Miami Dolphins. Starting basically from scratch with 20,000 plus, followers on Twitter, who had followed me for different reasons. Real estate, social media marketing, political engagement. And now I'm starting in May with a football team. You guys didn't know that. So I'm having to build a different audience. If I started tweeting about the political candidate that you guys probably know, boom, it would be right back. It's still in the news, never went away. It would be right back. I could have probably 50,000 followers if I wanted to go down that route. You guys don't understand. No, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say you don't understand. There's a lot of people, and I think they're young. I think a lot of the people who flame people have grown up in an era where they think they're going to clap back. I'm going to clap back at you. They don't understand how to get involved in discourse. And once you start talking to them, hey, Fred, I understand you're upset. You think I'm being too tough on Tua. Tell me what you think I should be saying when I'm talking about him throwing 3 interceptions in the Green Bay game prior to us knowing it was a concussion. What would you say about someone who throws 3 interceptions in a half? Oh, screw you. Okay, conversation's over. There's nothing to talk about. John R, man. Hey, what's up, buddy? I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Hey, Ty, and again, I'm going to be honest with you here. I was verified before, got de-verified because of who I was talking about. And then when Twitter blew, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I pay the $8 a month for Twitter Blue. Oh my God, you bought a blue check mark? No, go back and look at some of my tweets. Some of my tweets are quite long. The benefits of being involved with Twitter Blue, way more than $8. I can write long tweets. I can edit tweets. I can post long videos. Most of you guys think you can only post a 2-minute video, 2-minute and 30-second video on Twitter. I can post as long a video as I want. I can upload 20 minutes. I can upload this show if I wanted to. You can't do that. You could if you got $8. If you had $8 a month. So verified before, lost my verification. Now I bought the blue, and now I can do a lot of the marketing that I do as well. What's up, Shake Money? Thanks for coming in. Gary R. This is very interesting. You keep it real, Barry. The only issue with Tua is his availability. You're mentioning that just means you're objective. Yeah, completely objective. I played football. People are going to get hurt. People are absolutely going to get hurt. So the question I would ask all the people running crazy on Twitter tonight, nothing changed. Nothing at all changed. They gave a guy some extra money and not extended, but took a 5th-year option. I'm going to ask every one of you, what happens if he goes down again? You got Tyreek Hill in here. You got a bunch of guys in here. You've just restructured their contracts. They're depending upon this team moving forward. What's you going to do on the what if? Hey, we're behind Tua 100%. That's great. Run through a wall for Tua. Let's all do that. Absolutely. Tua's a Samoan warrior, Samoan sniper. Boom. That's fine. He was a Samoan sniper. He was a Samoan warrior last year. Everything was going friggin' great. We all loved it. And then December came in, the wheels fell off, and we're like, Teddy Two Gloves? That's who you got? And as of today, Teddy's going to be gone probably because he's going to be a free agent. So the only person you got behind Tua, Skylar Thompson? So I'm asking all of you, what happens? Forget Tua. Here's why I say forget Tua. The upside with Tua takes care of itself. I think everybody watching this, I think everybody in the stands, if the upside, you don't have to think about it. Yes, Tua is great. We don't have to have communications about Tua's 3,000 yards and so many touchdowns last year. That's old news. That's expired milk. He's proven it. If he's on the field, he's great. But you have to be pragmatic. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys own homes or own cars, but you buy insurance. And you buy insurance because in case something happens, you're protected and you shouldn't lose a beat. Even just with a car. I know that the amount of insurance we pay on our car, if something happens, you take it to the dealership, they give you a loaner of similar quality. I don't know if you guys know where Vista BMW is, but they don't give you a broken down Hyundai. They don't say, hey, listen, I understand your top car is broken, but in the interim, we're going to give you this Hyundai, and the air conditioning doesn't work. We know you bought a luxury car that you spent a lot of money on, but in the interim, while we're trying to fix it, enjoy the Hyundai. Enjoy Skylar Thompson. No, when I go into Vista BMW, they say, here's the keys to a BMW. It's a similar vehicle. I'm not driving a Hyundai because my car has to get fixed. What do we have behind Tua? We have Hyundais. No, we have one Hyundai because we don't know what's going on with Teddy. So I'm going to ask all of you, as of right now, can you answer that question? What happens if Tua goes down? Of course, don't want to see him go down. Of course, wouldn't wish upon him that he would incur that kind of an injury. But the question still remains even after his fifth-year option has been exercised. That question didn't go away. I saw people today tell me, oh, you know what? It's over now. We don't have to talk about somebody else coming in. Are you kidding me? Now you have to talk about it more. I waited till tonight to say that. Now we have to talk about it more. You just pushed the chips in on Tua. Greer, McDaniel, Ross just went, we're going all in on Tua for the next 2 years. But what happens if the other guy's got a pair of aces and our guy isn't there? That hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. Everybody's excited and it's great. Yeah, I even told you. Exercise the fifth-year option. Okay, now that's done, let's sweep that aside. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to fix the hole in your roof? Because that hole is still there. You may have put a tarp on it, but that hole is still there. Enough with the analogies. Bottom line is, if we don't get a quarterback, and I don't mean a Taylor Heineke or some reject, Sam Darnold. If we don't get a quarterback and Tua goes down, what happens? I'd like you all to think about that. He's right. We're screwed. There you go. If we don't have a quarterback who's a capable, top-tier backup, who's capable of stepping in and not missing a beat, if I don't have a loaner BMW, what are you going to do? Steve here says, what's up, Steve? Steve says they have a plan if Tua goes down. What is it? Do you know? Because no, they don't have a plan. There's no quarterback on the roster. Like I said, Teddy Two Gloves goes into free agency. Skylar Thompson is the only thing behind him. So as far as we know, there's no plan. They may put somebody in. They may go ahead and do something in free agency in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to talk to you about that. But as of right now, Ty Bless, you're cracking me up. You're going to get the haters after me again saying Tom Brady. Oh, God, they hate that. John Smith, good quote here. Tua's injuries are a testament to Miami's lack of building a real offensive line. We went through with Tannehill. Yeah, absolutely. Offensive line. But that still doesn't answer the other question. You can have 5 studs up front. You can bring in Mike McGlinchey from the 49ers and put him at right tackle, who I'm going to talk about in another video. But it still doesn't fix what's going on in the quarterback room. Doesn't fix it at all. Be smart. Be smart. Bryce Young. No, we ain't ever getting Bryce Young. Let's see here. We have a... Yeah, Joey, this is a real important thing Joey says here. We have a Super Bowl window. I can't fathom that Steve Ross spent all this money to just have a hopium for Tua. That's what I've been saying. I posted something about Stephen Ross yesterday, that he just put out a new development in West Palm Beach, spending $1 gazillion. And so I'm not sure if any of you guys know how real estate development, you've got to run environmental studies. You got to run traffic impact studies. You have to do your per square foot comparable study. You have to do all these studies to make sure that if you invest in this piece of property, that it makes sense coming back. There is no ifs. If there's an if, somebody gets fired. I want to know, if I buy this piece of land that I'm spending $1 gazillion on, that it's okay environmentally, it's okay to build upon, there's no sand table below it, there's no sinkhole underneath it, there's traffic patterns are okay, everything you possibly could imagine. And you're trying to tell me that a billionaire who does that on a daily basis with his projects looks at this football team and goes, if it works, it works. And that's where people start screaming at me. I'm like, guys, you got to use your head. This guy is $1 billion real estate developer. And I'm talking 30, 40-story buildings. Has to know the weight capacity. I mean, every stress, pressure, every possible thing you can imagine, down to the smallest minute detail. How the pet's going to be affected? How's the wind going to... You'd be amazed how many studies go into real estate development. And so you're trying to tell me, you guys that attack me, you're trying to tell me that the guy who does all that due diligence before he puts a shovel in the ground, before he takes the white hard hat and they take the picture of him putting the shovel in the ground, who does all that research, looks at his football team and goes, if Tua goes down, I don't know, we'll be okay till whenever. That's insulting. That's insulting to him. It's insulting to me. It should be insulting to you. But as of right now, there's nobody there. Let's see. I didn't know that. I didn't know he built Hudson Yards in New York City. Wow, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Grab it. Kenneth Evans says, grab a new young QB to follow. Who? I love when people say that, and I'm not picking on you, Kenny. I'm just saying who. Who do you think? So this is a good time to segue into this. Okay, you ready? So we're going to talk about the free agents that are currently on the market, and there we go. All right, so tell me who you think the Miami Dolphins could grab. Derek Carr, too late, gone for $150 million. He's off the table. Carson Wentz, Tom Brady, they still have him as TBD because anything can happen. Marcus Mariota, he's done well in Atlanta, hasn't he? Baker Mayfield, he's interesting. Maybe Baker could come in. But once you get past Sam Darnold, I don't even know why his name's on the list. Once you get past Jimmy Garoppolo, who's very interesting, there's nobody else here, man. You're talking Hyundais, the Hyundais of quarterbacks. Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, bringing back Jacoby Brissett on a reclamation product, Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton, Mike White, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Blaine friggin' Gabbert, Chase Daniel, Nick Mullins, Drew Lock. This is it, guys. Brandon Allen, Josh Johnson, Nate Sudfeld, Nathan Peterman. Do you guys even know who these people are? Jeff Driscoll, I only know him because he played ball with the Gators in Florida. Cooper Rush, formerly with the Cowboys. Brett Ripien, Tyler Huntley, who is Lamar Jackson's backup. John Walford, and you can see the rest of the names as I call. Check. Okay, so you got Jarrett Stidham, Bryce Perkins, Gardner Minshew, the stash, what's he got? The mullet guy, Shane Buechele. Who are you going to bring in? Who are you going to sign? That's it. That's the entire list. There are no other free agent quarterbacks. Yeah, you may be able to trade for somebody, but that's it. There's nobody else there. Now, what's funny about this, and this is what gets me, is if these three names, Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, or Jimmy Garoppolo, are one of those names, I guarantee you the Tua fans are going to freak out. Because Baker Mayfield, if he gets hot, he can play. Marcus Mariota, I'm not too sold on. Jimmy Garoppolo, who's from the San Francisco Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan family, who understands this offense, if Jimmy Garoppolo has a chance to get the keys, you may not see Tua on the field. So I doubt they're going to go with Garoppolo because of that fear. They don't want to upset the apple cart. Could you imagine if they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo and Tua and he are playing in camp and Jimmy has a better understanding of the offense? And what I mean by that is, and I don't mean anything bad, I'm not saying anything to replace Tua, but Mike McDaniel himself, in Jeff Darlington's quote, he said something or somebody said something and everybody overlooked it. In Darlington's tweet, let me see if I can find it real quick, because there's something interesting. Jeff Darlington tweet. Tua. I want you guys to see something here, if I can pull it up. All right, yep, found it. All right. I'm going to read this to you. I want you to look at it yourself. Barry, you're trying to make something out of nothing. No, I'm going to read you his tweet. I'm going to show you what he actually said. This is where people freak out and say, I'm trying to put my foot on or my thumb on the scale. No, I'm going to read his tweet. Here we go. Read this with me. The Dolphins will not be pursuing Lamar Jackson or any other starting quarterback this offseason. Jimmy Garoppolo, he didn't start as much because Brock Purdy, maybe he's a backup, I don't know. Multiple team sources told Jeff Darlington this. As one source said, and this is where it is, Mike fully believes Tua is the perfect fit for his system. Read that again to yourself. Mike fully believes Tua is the perfect fit for his system. Well, Barry, what's that mean? Why are you stressing on that? Because he just said that Tua is a system quarterback. He didn't say Mike believes Tua is a great quarterback. He didn't say that Tua is a quarterback that, it's generational. It's like Dan Marino. We haven't seen anybody like this. He didn't say this is a guy that you wait 10, 12 years for, like Trevor Lawrence. He said Tua is the perfect fit for his system. Everybody missed that. Nobody wanted to talk about it. So, if Tua is the perfect fit for the Shanahan system, if that's the guy who's a perfect fit for a Shanahan system, who on this list would be the next best fit in the Shanahan system? Jimmy Garoppolo. You can't deny it. If it's the system that he looks for a quarterback, he's looking for a quarterback who fits the system, his exact words. Barry didn't make that up. No, just to make sure, is the Mike fully believes Tua is the perfect fit for his system. So I would just raise my hand and go, okay, so Mike, if Tua is the number one, he's the perfect fit for the system. Let's all agree on that. If he goes down, wouldn't you want the next best available fit for the system? Is that a logical question? Not somebody that, you're just going to bring in, stand up like Teddy Two Gloves. Wouldn't you want, if your system is so important, and if Tua is the best fit for your system, if Tua goes down, I want to know who's the next best fit. Who's that number two guy that might be available? And in that regards, if you're looking at this list, it's Jimmy G. And if they bring in Jimmy G, I can tell you right now, people are going to lose it. Absolutely lose it. Because they know if Tua happens to go down, that's going to be a tough one. Let's see here. Let's see. Molly says here, let me just see if I can read it. As some of those YouTube channels and sports analysts have been rumoring about how Tyreek was liking Caleb Williams to Miami, you think Caleb Williams is an option in 2024? The only way Caleb Williams would be an option in 2024 is if the Dolphins suck and rise up to pick him, or they make a trade like, oh my God, Chicago and the Carolina Panthers did today. But other than that, no way. Ty, bless, here you go again. Did I send it? Yeah, there it is. Bring porn star Jimmy to South Beach. Why not? That's the guy I think they should go as the backup. But people aren't going to like that. Because I'm telling you right now, Jimmy G will be poised to be QB 1A. If it's the system that Mike McDaniel is touting, it's this Tua is the best quarterback for the system, his exact words, or someone's words, then okay, makes sense. Tua is your guy. He's perfect for the system. Who you got behind him? I got Jimmy G. Boom. Now I'm with you. Now I'm with you. Now I'm back to broadcasting every Sunday. Now I'm talking really good about the Dolphins. Now I'm saying you've made a choice. You've brought in the guy that we need to have just in case. Now you've solved the problem. You've solved the monster in the closet. You've exorcised the demons. Now you've just told me you're ready to take on 2023. Yeah, Jimmy G Jimmy G might be made of glass. If Jimmy G is made of glass, then who did they give $23 million to today? Can't have it both ways, bud. Can't have it both ways. I understand what people are saying. Just hope Tua stays healthy. Hope can't be in a general manager's vocabulary. I cannot fathom that Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer would put their jobs on the line for hope. There better be a plan. Whoever said that earlier about there being a plan, there definitely better be a plan. Like RB Cruz, and I agree, Jimmy's the best choice for a seamless championship. I want to know that I don't want one of those, I keep using my analogies, I don't want one of those little donut tires in the trunk if my car gets a flat. I want to know I can pick up a $700 tire and put that on the back of the BMW, and I don't miss a beat. It takes me a couple minutes to fix it, maybe 25, 30 minutes. Boom, it's on there. Or I call it roadside because I ain't changing it. But I'm running. I'm not missing a beat. That's better than Brock Purdy in my estimation. Until Jimmy got hurt, he was balling. The same stuff that people are saying about Tua, they were saying about Jimmy last year. Man, he's playing lights out. Boom, he goes down, doesn't get back on the field. Think about that. The starter went down, didn't get back on the field. What makes you think that potentially that couldn't happen with the Dolphins? That would put people's hair on fire. That would just cause pandemonium, and it would cause these guys to show up everywhere around. Oh my God, they'd be screaming at us because they could not believe that the anointed one went down again. Michael Davis says that Jimmy G has season-ending injuries, and early in the season, at least twice now, he's had that happen. Yep, he's had. But again, guys, you're making excuses why not to have Jimmy G when who are you going to pick on this list? Carson Wentz? How many times has he been hurt? Let's see. Marcus Mariota? How many times has he been hurt? Baker Mayfield busted his shoulder up. He went down. Sam Darnold, let's not even discuss that. Teddy Bridgewater, we know that for sure. Case Keenum, these guys down here, I don't even want to discuss. I'm telling you right now, if the Dolphins go into the discount rack here and start picking out one of these guys here, Mike White, he got busted up last year. So I don't understand when people say, well, Garoppolo's got hurt. They all got hurt. What's your best chance of winning next year? If what we're saying and what was said out of the Dolphins camp was that the perfect fit for the system is what Mike McDaniel was looking for, not my words. Barry, you're twisted. I'm not twisting shit. Mike fully believes Tua is the perfect fit for the system. Not my words. If Tua is the best fit for the system, who's next? Please don't tell me, what's his name? Jameis Winston or something. No way, man. No way. I'm just trying. James, I just try to make points. I try to make points so you guys can sit back and think. And when you're talking to people and you're on Twitter, we're like, hey guys, who are we going to bring up if Tua goes down? Nothing has changed. He got his 5th-year option. He was going to get that anyway. If nothing has changed, who's behind it? Who's in the foxhole? Who are we bringing up with the AR-15? Yeah, Anthony Richardson would be cool, but we ain't getting him either. But who are we going to bring in? It's crazy. Gary R says I'd say Mayfield, but I think he'd be a problem sitting on the bench. He's a malcontent. Okay, so imagine this. You're in preseason camp, and they're running plays, and one guy's not hitting the plays as well as the other guy. Do you just say to everybody, you know what? Even though Baker, Jimmy G, fill-in name here is playing better than Tua, we have to make sure they just sit on the bench because we have to play Tua. Said no coach ever. No coach. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan, when Jimmy G was there and they had Trey Lance and he was hurt too, and then they had Brock Purdy and like, well, this guy's pretty damn good. Even if Jimmy G had gotten healthy, he wasn't getting back on the field. Brock Purdy owned it. So, however you want to go. Yeah, I know. Anthony Richardson's like Lamar. I can't hit the broadside of a barn. But it depends on how far away that barn is. And let Tyreek run under it. Maybe he can catch up to the barn. He can throw. Yeah, I mean, you guys are saying the same thing. And the issue is Jimmy G might want to go team where he's brought in to start. Wouldn't make sense for him not to. Well, it's kind of, it does make sense. Here's why. Let's address this. So if you looked in the draft order, you know now Carolina's going to get their quarterback. You know that Chicago's got their quarterback. The New York Jets may be looking at completing the deal with Aaron Rodgers. Go down the line. Who needs a quarterback? Then when you say who needs a quarterback, you say who needs a quarterback who's close to winning it. Because I personally wouldn't want to go to, I don't know, some team that's 6-10 that needs a quarterback. I mean, that's why Carolina's going to pick a rookie, because he's going to have basically no choice. But if you say, Jimmy, you could come down to Miami, Baker, you could come down to Miami, and if you came here, you look at that roster and go, shit, Waddle, Tyreek, some tight end, stacked running back room. I have a better chance with this team. Money being equal, because sometimes it's not always about money. Some of these guys want rings, and in that regard, we may we may stand out to somebody like that. King Short, you said wow. I'm not sure what you're saying wow to, but it's wow, yeah. What else we got here? Purdy wasn't. Yeah, a lot of people overlooked Purdy. Purdy was damn good in college. He just got overlooked. See, now this kind of quote is too low. I mean, it's too small. I can't read. But this kind of quote will they'll come after you. He says, "I vote bring in Jimmy G and let him and Tua compete for QB1." Oh my God! Good thing you're not using your real name, because that would incite the nuts. There is no competing with QB1. Don't you get it? He's QB1. Over. No more talk. No more discussion. That's what I was saying about discourse. You're posing a good question. Putting competition in training camp can only be a good thing. Good thing. Yep, absolutely right. Completely good thing. Nobody doesn't want to compete. Oh, you can compete for the backup with Skyler. Nobody goes into camp going, best I can do is be second or third on the depth chart. No, I want to put your ass in the dirt. I want to step up and know I can start. If you're the person in front of me that I need to beat out, you think linemen come in and go, nah, I can't be starter. That guy's just he's already there. Then why do you have a draft? Why do you have Sauce Gardner? Perfect explanation. Sauce Gardner comes as a rookie. Somebody was first string. Somebody was ahead of him. He went into camp and beat him out. It happens. Come on, man. Is our chances for Lamar over? Yeah, I guess so, because unless they're playing some sort of ruse, they're not going to put out $200 million for him. So it's right now. This this is it. What you see is what you get. Oh, I love this one here. Adrian Gallon, you're just backstroking with your tail between your legs due to your recent confident assurance that the Finns were certainly looking for a Tua replacement. See what I mean? I wasn't going to go and start exposing some of these people, but that's the kind of idiotic statements that I've been seeing all day long. All day. Last couple days. That kind of stupid shit. Somebody who has no idea what the hell they're talking about. Adrian, you used your real name and you stuck your picture up there, so I'm just going to leave it there so everyone else can see the idiot that you are. The complete moron that you are. I'm going to make you famous, okay? We're gonna just talk about you, Adrian. Yeah, tail between my legs. Yeah. Due to your recent confident assurance that the Finns were certainly looking for a Tua replacement. Oh, I wasn't saying they were looking for a Tua replacement. I posted some videos where some of the people in the media said they were looking for a replacement. You can discount Josina Anderson. You can discount Mike Greenberg. You can discount Dan Orlovsky. You can discount Mina Keems. You can discount Keyshawn Johnson. You can discount Stephen A. Smith. You can discount them all. It wasn't my words. I just showed you videos of what people were saying. I know, as I've said throughout these 52 minutes that we've been together, that there's nobody behind Tua. So, Mr. Brain Trust here, Adrian Gonzalez, you seem like a smart guy. You put a nice sentence together. Let's have a little talk. What happens if Tua goes down, bud? Bet you don't have an answer for that. Bet you don't have anything to say about that. It's all in on Tua or nothing. And as far as I know, I could ask my wife. I could stand up if I had pants on. I don't have a tail, dude. I'm not worried about your insults. It doesn't matter to me. I'm talking football for people who want to talk football. The insane asylum, where the rest of your buddies are, that's over on Twitter, and you can go talk to them. You can say whatever you want to them, and maybe they'll make you feel, maybe they'll give you a puppy. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'll believe this. Tua's got a great shot to take this team to the Super Bowl. He's got a fantastic opportunity. Tua has a fantastic opportunity that could lead this team to the Super Bowl. Wait for it. If he stays healthy. That's what I have to say. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Understanding since 2018, 5 years ago, Tua has never finished an NFL season. So, history would say something's going to happen. May not be concussion, might be a rib, who knows? Something is going to happen because we've seen history. And I'm going to ask you, I Got Game New Jersey, what are you doing behind him? Who's the next man up? Everybody can throw out these nice little rhubarbs and say, Tua is that man. He's him. Okay, who's behind him? Who's picking up the slack? There's 17 games, and I'm telling you right now, if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, the AFC East is brutal. Brutal. If we don't have someone backing up Tua who can help win, you think we're even going to get through the AFC East? You think you're going to get through Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers without some sort of loss there? I don't know about Mac Jones. I mean, who knows about him? But yeah, your statement's correct, but it's got a giant asterisk. Okay, this one guy says, let me ask this, Barry. What if McDaniel has confidence in Skylar's development and believes this year he can be a serviceable backup? Serviceable? That's what I keep trying to say to you guys. What do you mean serviceable? I don't need serviceable. I want a top tier backup. I want QB1 and QB1A. I don't want QB1 and a second-year guy who showed up like shit last year. This is $1 billion business. Billion with a B. And you guys are talking about a serviceable backup. Like it's that donut tire if you get a flat tire. That's not going to cut it. Not even in AFC East. Have you seen a schedule for next year? In addition to the AFC East, have you seen who the Dolphins have to play next year? And you're talking about a serviceable backup? Wow. Hey, Pablo, haven't talked to you in a while, buddy. Pablo says, I'm glad the drama is over. This is a clear commitment to Tua. Let's get him a credible offensive line. Bank on it. We'll be okay. You didn't listen to much, have you? You haven't listened to much. So, what happens if Tua goes down? Until somebody can answer that question, I'm going to tell you this right now. We're closed. It's at 57 minutes. I got an hour with you guys. Until somebody can answer that question with a valid, meaningful response, I can guarantee you. Hold on. Check. I can guarantee you nothing changes in the media. Everybody's like, oh, they're going to have to STFU. They're going to have to shut the F up now because the Dolphins quieted everybody. No, they didn't. This is still going to go on. I've told you it was going to be a long 6 and 7 months. And the other guy who said a serviceable backup, and Pablo, love you, brother. You've been here since the beginning. Thinks it's just the offensive line. Until people can realize there's nobody behind Tua. Until Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer bring somebody and go, here's our backup. Here's our backup, and it can't be one of these has-beens here. Oops. Can't be one of these guys. Nope, can't be one of those guys. It's going to have to be up here. It's going to have to be Mayfield, Mariota, or Garoppolo. Until they bring in somebody and say that, it's going to continue. Because that's what'll shut people up. That's what's going to make people take notice that Dolphins are for real. Next week, the 13th through the 15th, is free agency. Every one of these guys are going to be taking offers. Let's reconvene, let's see, 13th, 15th, and see what happens. Forget the draft. We're in the third round. We're going to pick up a linebacker or somebody, offensive line. That'll be fine. Maybe after the draft, there might be some free agents left over. But I can tell you, those three guys won't be left over. 4, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, and Jimmy Garoppolo are not going to be left over. So right now, that's the answer. One of those 4 guys has got to be the answer. If one of those 4 guys isn't the answer, then what you're telling me and the Dolphins are telling you they're going all in on Tua, and if he goes down, they're playing for 2024's draft. That's all I can. That nothing else makes sense. But I can tell you for sure that unless they bring in a very capable backup, the talk's going to continue. I'm going to continue talking about it. I'm going to keep making videos about it. I'm going to be probably pissing people off. And the reason being is the question hasn't been answered. Until you can answer that question, any of you, and I mean, thank you guys for even showing up tonight. I know some of you guys, were probably pissed off. 20, what's it say? I like this question or comment. 23 million for Tua, 15 million on the backup. Aaron Rodgers, Jets, Allen, and Buffalo were the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC East. You got to understand. Don't believe me, but just start thinking to yourself. Yes, with Tua healthy, this team can compete as long as it can go. It could potentially go to the Super Bowl. I have no doubt. I don't have a tail between my legs. I have no doubt that if Tua is healthy, this team could ball out. But nobody has yet answered the question. Who's behind Tua? You've seen for 5 years now, if you followed him in college, you've seen for 5 years now, there had to be somebody behind him. When there wasn't somebody behind him, shit falls apart. So what's the Dolphins' answer moving forward? That's not a bad thing to ask. Nothing has changed. I said they were going to pick up his 5th-year option. I believed it was the best move. I showed you the video where I said, hey, man, they should pick up his 5th-year option because he's cheap. And you put him on a prove-it year before you have to do anything. That's settled. They picked up the 5th-year option. But until they say who's in the foxhole behind Tua, this is going to continue. And people are going to keep talking, and they're going to talk about every single quarterback. I guarantee you they start tomorrow. The next 4 or 5 days with free agency, it's going to be a whirlwind. Every single player out there is going to be possibly Miami, but this or that, because you have to have somebody. Don't bring in Sam Darnold. Don't bring in Zach Wilson. Don't bring in Gardner Minshew. If they do that, we're in big fucking trouble. Yeah, but you see, Dolphins fans are too pessimistic. Tua led the league in passer rating. He just needs to stay healthy. What does that mean? Of course, everybody knows that he needs to stay healthy. The question is, and I don't know why people aren't asking it, what do you do if Tua is not healthy? I don't understand. Why won't you ask that to yourself? Everything you said right there is a given. We all know. Tua led the league. He did this. He did that. He threw touchdowns. He threw yards. Okay. He also got hurt. So until you can answer that question, and I'll continue to ask it, and it'll piss people off, until you can answer that question, it's going to continue to be asked in the media, as well it should. Well, guys, it's first time back since the playoffs. Glad some of you decided to join me. I'll still be here. I'll still be talking. I'll still be making videos. Thanks for stopping by. See you guys in a few. And maybe we'll do a Tuesday on a real Tuesday. Thanks for showing up, every single one of you. Continue to watch videos. Subscribe if you'd like what I'm saying. And be happy if you think I'm taking my lumps and putting my tail between my legs.